What are the benefits of the MCU doing a reboot or a soft reboot? Welcome back to Sam Talks Nerdy. I hope you're happy, doing well, dominating life, crushing it. You heard me correct. What are the positives and the negatives of the MCU doing a soft reboot? This all spurs from the book by Joanna Robertson, MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios. In her book, Robertson did say, we have a quote from Kevin Feige sort of implying that, like Secret Wars, will serve as a soft reboot in which they can prune everything. That's not to use Lokiism, they'll prune everything that's not working, keep what is working, or bring back people you thought were gone forever. The end of the book even mentions how Feige has learned different lessons from the comics, how superheroes periodically needed to be rebooted, how to stop variants from spin-offs from blah, 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 blah. The MCU rebooting has been a point of conversation lately with how the MCU has been performing, even going as far as to say that Kevin Feige needs to be fired, which I think is a little bit much. The idea has gotten mixed receptions. There are people who are all for it, and then there are people who are against it. I am torn between both camps because, thinking about it, there are good aspects and then there are bad aspects. But what are the bad aspects of the MCU rebooting or doing a soft reboot? For one, this could do 10 plus years of progress. Think about how far we have come since 2008. With the first Iron Man, and then think about, how big the first Avengers movie was, and then just all the impact and the hype with Endgame and Infinity War. Just like, I remember when the first Iron Man came out. And plus, think about all the moments, like the very impactful moments that might be undone. The death of Iron Man, the death of Black Widow, the ending of Infinity War, Captain America passing the torch to Falcon. Plus, a lot of people have, attachment to these moments. Like, I remember the ending of Infinity War, just how silent the theater was. We were all just like, what just happened? And then, of course, all the hype, and we're talking about it for months afterwards, and hype for Endgame, and we're talking about the ending of Endgame, and I'll try not to spoil it for anybody else. Some people might not like the idea of these moments getting erased or getting kind of swept under the rug. What was that? That's weird. Sorry. Plus, the idea of some of these characters getting recast might not sit well with people. No one will ever replace Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Chris Evans as Captain America, Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. People have formed attachments to these versions of these characters. I love Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. Like him, I have a lot of attachment to because, like I said, I saw Iron Man when it first came out. I saw it maybe 3-4 times. So him, I'm pretty attached to, and I was pretty bummed when he died. So, plus, I just don't know if they can find people who can live up to what they have done. And if they do find people, the fans are going to be very picky and just be very, have them under a microscope being just like, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Just to see what they will do, and I don't think they want that kind of pressure. But this is also, in a way, a positive of these characters getting recast, which I will talk about here shortly. This could also provide some confusion as to what is changed in the MCU or in MCU 2.0, and then what is kept in the MCU 2.0. So, people might have an issue with Iron Man and Captain America getting recast, but we still have Chris Hemsworth as Thor, or Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. But now let's talk about the positives, and I really hate to say this because I love the MCU, but the benefits of them doing a soft reboot kind of outweigh the bad. As I mentioned, while some characters getting recast might not say, well, people, it would be a good way to get these characters back. I don't know about you guys, but I really miss Iron Man, Captain America, and T'Challa definitely had a lot more story left in him. But, sadly, Chadwick Boseman passed away. But us getting a soft reboot would be a pretty good way to get these characters back into the movies and, I guess, TV shows. Plus, let's be real, if they were to recast T'Challa for Wakanda Forever, it would have been a little awkward to see T'Challa just walk on screen and be someone completely different, and just everyone just be like, oh, hey T'Challa, you look good today, and it just not really cause a problem. But with them doing a soft reboot, they can recast T'Challa and have it not be weird. then again, would people have had an issue if they recasted T'Challa for Wakanda Forever? I don't know. Comment below. Would you have been upset if they recasted T'Challa for Black Panther 2? Secondly, a new start for the MCU could allow us to have the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Inhumans, Spider-Man from the get-go, and not have them just be shoehorned into other movies like Spider-Man and Civil War. While I do have faith that Marvel will properly introduce the Fantastic Four, the X-Men and the Inhumans could be a little more complicated. I think it'd be weird just like from the pop-up in King Dynasty or Secret Wars and be like, hey guys, we're here the entire time, we just didn't want to get involved. Like, that might not go well for people. But then again, they might just come over from another universe and stay in the MCU proper. We'll have to see. King Dynasty and Secret Wars are a little way off, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see what they do. But a rebooted MCU or a soft reboot MCU can be a way for us to get all the parties. Like Phase 1 or Phase 1.5 could be used to establish the entire world of the MCU, where we get like some solo projects and like an Avengers movie, then an X-Men movie, then maybe a Fantastic Four movie, just to kind of get all the main groups established, as well as set up the big looming threat of this current saga. So like Galactus, Doctor Doom, maybe try again with Kang, just a pretty good starter villain. Ooh, maybe an Nihilus. I think Doctor Doom could make for a pretty good alternate alliance Marvel movie where that could be like the Infinity War or Endgame of, I guess, this saga. And they wouldn't even have to kill off Doctor Doom in the end. They could make it look like they killed him off, but then maybe in another Secret Wars film, it's revealed that he is alive and becomes God Emperor Doom or something like that. Just a thought. Plus, I'm sorry I keep beating this point to death. It'd be really cool to have an MCU with all the characters back owned by Marvel. Because think about when this all started. We had, Sony with Spider-Man, Fox with the X-Men, Fantastic Four. Then we had like Universal with the Hulk. Like just recently, they got the rights to the Hulk back. So as of now, they have mostly control of all their characters. I mean, yeah, they're kind of sharing Spider-Man with Sony, but hopefully that will change. Because I'm tired of all these films of like Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter, Morbin Time, just like Sony, just give Spider-Man back to Marvel completely so we can get a movie with Venom and Kraven and have them be their own solo films without Spider-Man, because like, come on, that does not work. And imagine a Civil War film with more characters like The Thing or Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, Namor, Hulk. Actually, not Hulk, because that would be a pretty easy fight. Just imagine us getting team-up films with more characters than we had in the MCU. I mean, yeah, Civil War, the first Civil War, or the Captain America Civil War movie, I'm losing my point here. But like Civil War movie had some good characters, but just like imagine that, but like in the actual scale of the comic. Plus, with a new MCU, we could get some movies that we couldn't get before, like some more Hulk movies. Like, imagine us getting a proper World War Hulk movie, or a Planet Hulk movie, or actually, no, reverse that. So imagine us getting a Planet Hulk movie, and then maybe a World War Hulk movie. Like, those would be banging. A soft reboot could also allow Marvel to switch things up. So, for example, maybe we get a different Avengers lineup. So instead of us getting Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Hulk lineup, maybe we get a more OG lineup of Iron Man, Ant-Man, Wasp, Hulk, Thor, then eventually bring in like Captain America, or maybe a Avengers Earth Minus Heroes lineup, which is, well, pretty much the OG lineup, but maybe with a few changes towards the second season. But yeah, just like imagine us getting a different roster of Avengers. I mean, even a reboot could give us, Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne as the Ant-Man and Wasp of the MCU. While I do love Scott and Hope, I originally did want Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne as, Ant-Man and Wasp. I actually owe it to Earth Minus Heroes for that. Or maybe in this new reboot MCU, we get a different Guardians lineup that's more in line with what we got in Avengers Earth Minus Heroes, which is how I was first introduced to Guardians, actually. And I'm sorry I keep bringing up Avengers EMH, but that's such a good show. Such a good show. It did not deserve to get canceled. And maybe with a reboot or a soft reboot, they could get rid of a lot of that is not working in the MCU currently. Or maybe change a few things. So take Thor, for example. Maybe in this new rebooted universe or soft rebooted universe, I gotta work on that. And with the soft reboot, a lot of stuff that's not working in the MCU currently could be either erased or reworked. Take Thor, for example. Maybe in this new soft rebooted MCU, we can get a Thor that we are more used to from Thor 1, the Avengers, Thor Dark World, and not, the walking joke machine that he is now. Plus, there are a lot of loose ends in the MCU right now that I think could be completely forgotten if they just do a soft reboot and not have to worry about trying to solve them, or answer them before the events of Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, or wait, X amount of years until they can answer them after those movies. Lastly, Marvel doing a soft reboot or maybe even a full reboot could be a way for them to take a step back and think things over. So maybe next time around they don't bombard us with a whole lot of content and maybe try and plan beyond the first saga, so maybe the next 20 years or so. Should the MCU reboot or should I not reboot? Comment below. And that is it for today. Make sure to check out my review of One Piece Season 1 as well as my rankings of the arcs of One Piece Season 1. If you're listening to this via my podcast, make sure to follow me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. If you're watching me on YouTube, do the usual stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you or talk to you next time. Peace out.